Hi, my name is Taylor Renwick, and this is my fourth and final field reflection for EDL 595, Self-Mentoring, Mentoring, and Executive Coaching. Just a quick reminder that my in the field work is pertaining to self-mentoring. I spent about a month practicing each 4 levels of self-mentoring, and I am here to give my final presentation on everything that I have learned and what my experience has been. So first off, I completed the self-awareness level, also known as level 1 of the self-mentoring process, from March 1st to March 5th, 2016. During this time frame, I learned more about myself. I learned about my strengths, weaknesses, learning styles, and personality types. Once I had mastered this level, I slowly transitioned into the self-development phase. Self-development is level 2 of the self-mentoring program. This is the time that I formalized expectations and built a plan to collect data to alter my behaviors that are limiting my professional experience, my professional success. I took place in the self-development process for 1 week, March 5th through March 12th, 2016. My expectation was to respond to emails, especially professional ones, within 24 hours. I found that I was taking a little bit longer than I would like to respond to emails, somewhere from 48 to 72 hours. And if it was on a Friday that I received the email, I sometimes didn't even respond until late Monday afternoon. This is a behavior that I felt was prohibiting me from succeeding and excelling in my professional career. In order to monitor how I was doing with responding to emails, I kept a tally mark every time I responded to an email, and next to it I put how long it took me to respond, whether that was 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. I didn't take 5 days to respond to an email, but it helped me keep track of how long it really was taking me. During the self-reflection phase, also known as level 3, I reflected on what I have learned so far about myself and my plan. During this time, I formulated a plan to practice my altered behaviors. As previously mentioned, I came up with a system of tally marking how long it was taking me to respond to an email. I would put a P for professional, and then I would put M, which really meant personal, but I used M to be my or mine, and that's how I distinguish the 2 different types of emails. And then from there, what I would do is put a tally mark with the letter P or M and say it took me 5 minutes. I would write 5 minutes. If it took me an hour, I'd write 60 minutes. And then I would take the number of minutes and divide it by the number of emails I received. That way I could come up with an average it was taking me to respond per email. During the final self-monitoring phase, which is also known as level 4 of the self-mentoring program, I determined if and how, to what level or degree, I have achieved my expectation. I have met my expectations. With that being said, I found that there was no need for a self-monitoring plan, as the action of responding to emails within 24 hours has become a habit. In other words, sustainability had emerged. I had achieved my goal and changed my behavior, something that I originally perceived as negative and impacting my professional career. I took that and altered the behavior, and now I feel as if my email response time is much better. The data showed that it would take me anywhere from 5 minutes to 24 hours to respond per email, which was much better. That is exactly what I was hoping to do. And now that I've been aware of it and I've been tracking it, I am convinced that it is now a habit. Some of the things that I learned is that it is possible to respond to emails within 24 hours, and emails can be prioritized. So for example, an email from the chancellor or the executive director is much more important and pressing than it is from, say, one of the student managers that I oversee. Sometimes that's not the case, depending on the content and material, but that's why it's always important to read the subject line, see if it has an exclamation point that shows the high priority, low priority, and then figure out who it's from and respond in that way. I also learned that people appreciate quick responses, even if it is a response that says that I've received their email. and thanks, or I've received your email and I will respond in detail at a later point. I just wanted to point out that I used this template for my presentation because it shows that balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Through the self-mentoring process, I learned that I could create a balance within my work life. I could balance my emails by simply creating a program and a plan of action that would help me monitor and balance my emails better so that my response time was not 72 hours, but rather 24 hours or less. And I truly believe that creating that balance is something that I have in my control. It's something that I can do. It didn't just happen. So that is why my presentation is like a balance beam, because balance is not something you find, it's something you create. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation about my Field Reflection 4 of the Self-Mentoring Program.